Hi, book clubbers. Before we start today's episode, I want to hop on to announce our new shop. It's the Bookover shop on Etsy. We have a book bag in there and a book box in there with curated bookish items in it that we think that any reader like us would enjoy. So take a look when you have a chance at our shop. Enjoy our episode. And at the end, we have a small clip from a Facebook Live we recently did where we go over more details on what's in both of those. And I think that you guys are really going to enjoy it and love it. So have fun, and we will see you soon and enjoy the episode. Cheers. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Bookover, a little book club where we talk about books, especially the ones that give us book hangovers. I'm Sarah, and with me is Megan.
Hi.
And today we are talking about Devil's Day Party by C.M. Stunick. Again, sorry, not sorry. We like her books.
Love her books. You're just going to get a ton of CM book chats. And you know what? You're welcome.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. We both reread this book for this. This is my favorite reverse harem standalone ever. Like, this is the reverse harem standalone that made me believe that reverse harem standalones could be like magnificent and amazing. Because I can be a little scared of them occasionally if they're not, unless they're like really long, because I'm like, how do you fit so many relationships in one book? Like, how do you do it? Like Coralie June had that great book Malice, and I loved it, and I'm like, I want more. And luckily she took it from a standalone and then she made more because the characters were so great. With this book, I felt like the story is complete. I don't need more. It's just done so perfectly throughout. Like, I don't know. She just really blew my mind with this book. Mm-hmm. So that's how I'll start it.
Perfect. And I agree. It's one, even if you're not into RH, I think you could really enjoy this book because It really presents that kind of relationship differently as well. So basically, think of Groundhog's Day, even though this is supposedly takes in September 25th, and it's a Devil's Day in a small town, and the whole town dresses up and they do like things, witchy magic spells, devil,
little Halloweenish.
Yeah. And the main character starts reliving the same day constantly over and over and over again. And it's, the lessons of your life and figuring out, what am I supposed to do? And then she has these three guys that are like her bullies, and she kind of has feelings for them. And it's just like developing those relationships, figuring out what makes him angry, what makes him happy. And then figuring out, it's interesting to me, like, okay, she figures out one guy, and then she would like figure out the next guy, and then the next one, and then her heart would break because like all of a sudden she wakes up. That line, there's a line where it's blood on
my steering wheel. That line,
there's blood all over my steering wheel. That line. Every time you see that, you're like, oh damn. And it's just like you're rooting for her this whole time. Not the first go around, because she's a brat the first go around. But you understand why she's a brat. Right. I mean, you think of a teenager. She is a classic teenager on that. And I loved, but you get that line, and it's like she'll just get with something with the guys, a breakthrough or have a really great day, and then there's blood on my steering wheel, and you're just like, oh man, I just felt for her because I was being tortured.
You feel it. You really, Sam does an amazing job of putting you in there. I'm about to cry again. Like, because this is an emotional book. It is emotion. It is a time loop bully romance. Sounds like a fun time, but you dive into any time loop, the day repeats itself over and over again. It's tiring. I mean, just imagine it. Like, nothing sticks. It can be fun for a minute, but like, I don't think it's ever really fun for her. I mean, she gets, like, even in those moments where she gets to know these guys and, like you said, makes the breakthrough, she knows it's not going to last. And that line, like you said, it just every time.
Well, there's every time. Yeah. And then there's like one time, right? She like curled up. She's like, and then I curled up and cried in my bed for 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's
And
just
I,
like,
mm,
oh. And then,
and that
but it
makes
was
sense.
fun. There was fun parts for me though, because there was
Oh yeah.
like the script would be off. She's like, that script's a little bit changed. Or
Yes.
somebody else will say something that like the day before the other person said it. And so she's like, huh, like that's fun of her like
Figuring
seeing
out what's different.
those
Yeah.
little different things.
Well, well, I've always liked time loops. I know some people aren't huge fans of them, but I literally anybody, this is just the most well done time loop I think I've ever read. It's so emotional. Like you said, there's good time. It's freaking beautiful is what it is. Like you said, she starts out as like a brat, like any teenager, but like there's so many lessons in the book. It's not just the romance aspect. It's not just like, oh, discovering that like there's a fine love between love and hate, a fine line between love and hate, and that these guys actually, have feelings for her. Which again, I like what they're saying. What CM says about bullying and how like one of the guys, Raz, spends all his time looking at her, glaring at her, like it's all about her, because he's like, he's secretly very repressed and in love with her, and you get to dive deep into his background and what makes him, who I think is arguably the worst bully, tick. So you get something like that, but you also get her learning these life lessons of like how to appreciate the time she has and how her actions affect other people. And like even like about her family, it's so well covered. It is. I mean, it's really is. I knew I loved it. I knew I thought it was great, but rereading it, I just think it's like CM's best work. It is just so well done.
It's
I
very
just
well done.
you see so much.
Mhm. It's really well
Did
done.
you?
And like when we go
Hmm.
to like Raz,
Yeah.
he is. I think he is the it's hard for me because I feel like Calix
Hmm.
is a pretty just because of the previous Devil's Day. So the
Yeah.
previous Devil's Day, the year before, she sleeps with
Hmm.
Calix, she loses her virginity to him, and then at the end of it, all of a sudden he's like, I never loved you. This was
Mm.
so they were bullies. They were, always bashing
Yeah.
heads. And then he's like, I want to pick you up for Devil's Day and take you there. And then they end up sleeping together because he confesses his love to her. But
Mhm.
that, after they sleep together, then he's like, never mind, that was a lie, and like plays it off as a prank.
Right. It's the
And
devil.
so
They
to
play
me,
pranks on Devil's Night.
that was really hard. But then
That is.
the more she paid attention to the guys, and especially to Kellex, like there's times where she would like notice like this look in his eyes or
Mhm.
this, and I think that is a note to all of us to like sometimes even when I'm talking to people, I'm not always fully there.
Mhm.
And so I think that just is like a reminder that we need to be a little more present because like maybe if you were like paying attention, there was a couple times in the story where the characters would mention, or I think she even would mention, Karma would say like, I think this is the longest we've ever talked to each other.
Yeah.
We've been to school 3 years together and this is the longest we've ever had a conversation. And so
Mhm.
that's another thing too. It's like we're so fast to judge people and that we're not paying attention. And then as like other secondary characters are like kind of getting mad at her too. And they're like, the guys are into you. And she's like, huh, she's like, anyone could see it. But I mean, I've been
Yeah.
there too, where you're like, I didn't know that so and so had a crush on me until like years later, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
so, but it just, I found that interesting because Karma was upset of Calix because how dare him look at the gas station when she crashes into his car, which starts this whole thing. How
How
dare
can
him
he
look
be?
so sad? He has
Yeah.
money, he has a
Everything.
family, he has friends. No one picks on him.
Mhm.
And what I really liked was towards the end of the book, Pearl said the same thing to Karma. She
Mhm.
stole her
I love
dress
that.
for Devil's Day. And she's like, well, I thought, how dare you, look so
Yeah.
sad and act that way when you have these three guys admiring you and you have
And
this
you have.
family that loves you and these friends
Mhm.
that love you. And I was like, oh shit, like they just
Mhm.
turned that around on you. Like,
And yes, that was like the best example of perception, of judging people, a book by its cover, not appreciating what you have. The grass is greener on the other side. Because I think, and I like that there was such a reason for her to be bullied in her school. Yeah, they're richer kids, it's a delinquent school, but that's the thing. There are all these kids that are abandoned by their parents, and she's the only one who has both of her parents.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think looking on, it's like a chart. It's a grass is greener situation. I love her relationship with her two friends though too. She has these two friends, and I love that it's, again, the book isn't just about the guys. It's about the relationship with her friends. It's about Pearl. It's about, her family. She has to balance. Someone always dies.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. The first night, she and I believe Luke die. So she and her friend die. Isn't like
That's
Luke's
the
in the
second
car?
night. The first
The
night,
second night, is it just her?
it's just her.
It's just her. Okay. Well, that makes sense. And that's how I guess the loop starts.
Mm-hmm.
So every variation, well, almost every time, sometimes like she'll fall, basically it resets. If she falls asleep, passes out, dies. But most times when things go well, someone dies. She basically learns she can't, have the perfect day. There's no such thing as the perfect day. Someone dies, so she tries, like, even when she's working on things with the guys, like she thinks she has it, and then she realizes she has to go back. She had a great time with Raz. Baron finally gets her moment with Calix. It's perfect. She's tired, she's exhausted, she can't do it anymore, and she's trying to stay up all night, and she had the perfect date with her parents the night before. She's ready, she's done, but she finds out that Pearl died, and she knows she has to go back, and she feels like she's making the choice to, and I believe in that context she is. I think she does, I think she feels it. I think she does feel connected at some point to like what's going on, to the acceptance of the time. Yeah.
She gets it eventually.
Yeah, so it's just,
and that was hard.
Yeah, and Pearl's not nice to her. She's a bully too.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, and they even say like you can't be friends. Like, even spending time with her, they don't become best friends. She's like, some people aren't meant to be friends, but doesn't mean we can't be kind to each other and respect each other. And that's so true in life. There's so many like fantastic lessons in this book. Like, you don't have to be friends with everyone. Not everyone's going to be your cup of tea, but you can still show them kindness and respect. And that's how the world should work.
Exactly.
Oh gosh, just so many beautiful messages. But and like the symbolism with the butterflies. I could just go on and on.
So there's so much hidden, and you can look really deep in it, or you can read it surface level, and all of it it's really good, and then I love learning all the characters' stories more and more, and like the reason behind stuff, even like when we get Calix, and then we learn that like when he first says to her, I lied to somebody last Devil's Day, I was at first thinking, he's admitting he lied about saying I loved you. But then you read on and you're like, he's saying he lied about not loving her, and then it was a prank.
Yeah.
And and then that whole thing. And then again later on, it's like some of the stuff's repeated later, like after she breaks the cycle too, from him. And I love the bit. There was just some like torturous moments. Like she had a really good day. I forgot how or who she was with when they get shot. And that killed me. When April gets shot, and then Calix gets shot, and Raz gets shot, everyone gets shot and killed almost. Like I was just like,
with Pearl, I think that's the day with Pearl.
Day she spent with Pearl.
Yes, so it's the day that she didn't spend with any of the guys. Spent with Pearl. And it just ended disastrously because of the other girl, the stalkerish girl.
That killed me too, though, because it was in a way it was good. Like, yes, it was horrible. April, who's pregnant, gets shot and killed, and then Calix gets shot and killed, and Raz just gets his leg. Just his leg. But the thing is like when all that's happening, she looks at some of the guys and she can see like their attention on her, worried about her. Calix admitting that he loves her, even at gunpoint, proved to her that he loved her. So there's just like certain things that like happened that like helped her piece together for the next go around of that day.
She's always
and what I loved the most is Baron. I love
Mm.
Baron, and I
Mhm.
love his sketchbook.
Oh, me, that was a beautiful, beautiful plot point where he remember, and I think that's the first taste where you get. I don't think he's the only one that remembers, but it's more prevalent with him.
Mhm.
He has this need to draw all the timelines. So you're learning that technically they're all living through it and they're all retaining it somehow. They don't remember it,
Mhm.
but like that's why
That's
it makes
yeah.
sense. You're like, okay, well, how can anything change in one day? They don't remember anything. They hate her, but subtly they start warming up to her. The reactions to her are different. Something about what's happening stays with them.
Mhm.
So when the day starts over, if she initially was to have wrapped her arms and kissed one of them, they pushed her off. Like that literally happens. And then later on, she like goes to Raz and it's like into the convenience store and is like, I love you. I've always been in love with you. You love me. And he believes her like instantly. He just, why? Because he like, there's
It's deep.
part
It's like embedded. Like there was
yeah.
one point that there's something happened with, I think it was her and Calix, and she was like, something about them worry about like how they treated her. And she was like, no, no, I forgive you. And she like says in her, like, you know, you get her in her thoughts, and she's saying he doesn't need that engraved in his psyche.
Yeah.
And it's because she picked up on that because they would say the same phrases or something. Like even the day after the shooting, you know, Calix was a little more
Like
calm and
mm-hmm.
subdued and stuff. And she's like, he's still feeling the after effects of what just happened literally
Yeah.
5 minutes ago. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so, but like what I loved about Baron, because he has, I forgot the name of the eye, so two colored eye thing. And it said that
Oh,
like he kind of has that, like a little extra of that
yeah.
psyche
Ooh.
thing going on. But I loved how he's like, why can't I stop drawing you? And as soon, and then when she realized that as soon as she gets to see his drawings, he's all in. As soon as
Yeah.
she's like, I know you've been drawing me for 3 years, he's
That's
like,
all.
okay. And
And he's like,
it killed me when he drew his own death. When he drew
I
his own death,
know. I
that killed me.
know.
They had such a great day. She had like, they
Mhm.
all like finally were like, okay, let's like do this. They have these wonderful moments. And he's like, let's go paint the sunrise together, draw it together. And then he like,
You think it's fine. You think that's it. That's at the point where you think, okay, it all worked out. Like she, at that point, like she was like trying to balance, okay, how do I get everyone to survive this day? How do I get someone to look after Pearl? How do I get not one guy, but two guys without isolating? She would have the problem of she would, get with one guy and it would isolate the other ones. They would get mad at her. So she was like, how do I get all three of the guys? She finally has the perfect day. You think it's over. They go to sleep. Then, he wakes up and goes to paint this because the that line that's repeated, like if you stay up, paint the sunset
sunrise.
and sunrise. Thank you. And
Yeah.
he died. He
Yeah.
dies.
And then they're like, and then they go to skinny dip or swim. He's like, let's swim. And she's like expecting him to do what Raz did at the other lake. And he doesn't come up. And then they couldn't get him up in time. And it just and then the fact that he draws that in one of his is just, that
It's
killed
hard.
me. A lot of the things killed me. Then the day after Calix killed me. The day after Raz, not as much because I still was having a hard time with him. It took longer for me to really fully like him.
And I'm glad that he was revisited. He was like the beginning.
Yes,
And it felt very much the beginning. And then they revisited him. Like he got another chance of having like a day with her as opposed to just like hearing about it.
It was just like, and you would think somebody's listening who might have not read the story or even like just reading the same day over and over again, but it's just like, it's literally, and I don't, because in the book they mention a couple of movies that she watched or books she's read to try to figure out what's the key in these things, and it's like Groundhog's Day or Happy Death Day, and it's like it's the same thing, and then they have to figure out this lesson, and then they figure out how to stop it. And so and when she figures it out, I didn't know, the first time around what she figured out. I don't know why. I didn't figure out. She mentions it a couple of times, like, I know what I have to do. I don't want to do it, but I know I have to do it to break this. You know, she's like, somebody has to die. And it's like, so at the end, when she has this, she ends up somehow having like a good day with everybody, her family, with the guys. She ends up with the guys. No one, Pearl's fine. All of her friends are fine. Everybody's fine. And then she sacrifices herself.
Because someone has to die.
Somebody has to die. And
she knew
that,
it.
but then, you know, she wakes up to Raz, you know, trying to save her. And the guys are like, what the, and the poor guys think it's because of how they treated her. You know,
and they just had this great day with her too. So they're like, what? We just had this fantastic day with you. And then like, this was your plan all along. So yeah, it's very interesting that finally the day that you get is the day where she tried to, you know, which is just a heartbreaking scene. Oh my gosh, reading that scene kills you because she doesn't want to go, but she has to.
And then her trying to explain that to them where they're like, and then she's like, no, I didn't want to go. But like, I don't know if she ever fully explains it to them. I bet she could probably tell Baron. In my head, there's an extra scene in my head of the other guys just like somehow her explaining something and being like, it just had to happen. And they let it go. But her explaining it to Baron and him actually like, because of the sketchbook, like I could see her flipping through it and be like, this happened, this happened, this happened. I could see him believing her. And so I have like this extra scene in my head, like written of that actually happening before we get that like epilogue flash forward 2 years thing.
And she says it in there, I'm gonna tell the guys, but not now, not anytime soon. Like I think I always imagine that she eventually, you know, years down the line, like is sitting with the guys and tells them, and like maybe they have dreams or they just feel something. I mean, it's very obvious that like even after that day they felt something. I remember this happened a couple times where they would say something, they knew something that happened in another day. Like, was it April who mentioned moving to New Orleans when they had discussed it a different day? And even like after, I remember the guys, I forget what it was, but I know Calix said something that like had to do with something that happened in one of the time loops. So I think like the remnant stayed with all of them, like even after it was broken. It's just, I loved that it was the day that like it was the self-sacrificing day, so she still has to sacrifice. She still has to like, although I do think that the guys I don't think she tells her moms. I think the guys kind of protect that she tried to do that, but like honestly the guys kind of deserve to realize and be like, okay, like look, this horrible thing happened. We had a great day with her, but we need to be more mindful of our actions and what they can cause.
I love that part. I loved how they were all like, let's, because there was a couple of times where like, we have her today, let's, you know, give her this or something. But then it finally developed to like what it fully should be.
Yeah.
Of like, and let's be more mindful altogether too. So it's not just like an apology, we'll try to do better. It's like, we're going to be more mindful and reset. Like, and that was great. And then I, like you were saying with the, you know, the past days coming back with them, because there was even like in the epilogue, you know, it was a year or 2 years later, and then like, you know, she's got the coffee and Raz walks in and they kind of like, there's a couple of like their eyes connect. She's like, this happened. You know, it's very deja vu probably for the guys. And then Calix with his proposal, he proposed again, and then she's like, I'll get lost with you.
Yeah,
you know, I love
that they went to that after they went to the first place that he proposed,
and then he explained like when he saw a ghost. I just love that. And then when they go up to the room and found the butterflies, and she locks eyes with Baron, you know, like it's just like all those things. And so in my head, I'm like, maybe that's when that like leads to that, like, hey,
it all
did happen. And you could think I'm crazy, but you know, I don't know. It was just so good.
Yeah. And I like that it's left up for interpretation, because you can also interpret it, you know, in a different way where maybe they, you know, they don't remember, it's all that the feeling, I just love that it is open for interpretation. There, I just remembered, I believe that there's a bonus scene on her website. Or we
Yes.
just discovered. We literally
Yes.
just discovered a bonus scene.
We just discovered there's a bonus
Yeah.
scene on CM Stunik's website. And it takes a month after the end of the book. So they're getting ready for Halloween.
And we don't even know at all like how we both missed it. The only reason I like discovered it was because I was searching the character. I was like looking, like I wanted to see what people thought the characters looked like. And I remember I had seen a couple in the group, so I like just was searching Devil's Day Party in the group to like look at character pictures. And I saw that and I was like, what? There's a bonus scene? How did I not? I'm really active in that group. Like I don't understand how I missed it. So that's
algorithms are not our friends. And
it is the algorithm.
It is the algorithms. And I also feel like sometimes things aren't advertised all the time either, or it's only in the Facebook group, or it's only on Instagram, or it's in the newsletter. Sometimes things can get missed pretty quick, easily for me. I miss things all the time. I have to actively search for it. And as a mom, that's hard to do.
And there's a lot to go back. Yeah, there's a lot to go back. And like, yes, it is. It really is like even when it's your group you're active in, you have all the notifications on, you can still miss stuff unless, again, you actively, like I'm always actively like clicking on the name and like looking at their latest post to see, what's new. So,
well, I will put a link. When this episode airs on our Facebook group, we will put a link to it. So anyone who wants to read it can read the bonus scene. It'll make it easy for you to find it. Yay. Thank you, Sam, for making that. I love bonus scenes. I love it. I love like just getting that a little bit extra. I was very, for a standalone, because I've read standalones where I'm like, I want more. I would like more. I would like somebody else's story in the same world. But like, this time I was actually very content with the ending. Like you said, it was left open, but like I still like, and I wouldn't mind seeing more, but I'm like, I just spent living the same day over and over. I do not need more. Like I am very content with that ending and the lessons that we got from it. But like, I'm really excited to read this bonus scene and to see them like just that little glimpse. A little, hey, what are you guys up to?
Exactly. And it's just, it's rare, especially for a standalone, especially reverse harem. I said this at the top, but I just feel like it's very rare to feel like, okay, I'm satisfied, this is complete after one book. But the story lends itself to the standalone format. It feels so complete and satisfying. And I don't know, I feel like it's just was perfectly done. Whew. Chef's kiss. But like you said, I'm very excited for like a little taste. And I would love to see, if they pop up in other CM books, or she wants to get, like, I would take a novella. Like I'm not saying I don't want more, but I'm saying it's the same thing. It feels complete. The story feels yeah.
But I did like how she did tie in, she mentions Burberry and like she does. So it's fun if you've read some of her other series to get that little like, oh yeah, because I think if you haven't, you're gonna go right by it. But if you do know, then and it's just like fun little teeny like surprise like sprinkles here and there where you're like, oh yeah,
so like what was it, Baron that has a sister that goes to Burberry? Was it Baron? I believe.
I think so.
It was. Now I'm questioning which boy it was. I thought it was Baron. So someone has a sister at Burberry, but then Calix had sweats from Burberry. So it's like there's definitely.
But didn't Calix go? Didn't Calix and Raz go to Burberry and then get moved there because they got in trouble by their parents?
I don't think it said where they went before.
I just assumed they went there before, but those sweatpants and stuff could have been somebody else's in the car. We're reading way too much into
I know. Well, you never know. You never know. And it's also like, when did it take place in like comparison, like where they in Burberry before, so. Well, it's interesting. A lot of CM's books have little hints at her other books, and like from like the shoes they're wearing, like you'll hear characters wearing like Barker Blacks that are in a couple of her series, just little tidbits here and there.
Yeah.
So I really like that she does that. It does make this world feel very connected.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this was.
It's a good read. Anyone
I mean,
who's up for it, I think you would enjoy.
I could talk about it too long.
And
So
in
I'm
the
gonna stop myself.
yeah,
Like, I could break it down. I was like, literally, when I read it, I was breaking it down to episodes. I was like, here's how you can make a mini series. I was like, the first day, Raz, Baron, parents, Calix, Raz again, friends, all of them, Pearl, all of them again. Like, I was literally like listing like what every episode
this could be a mini TV series. Netflix.
Yes.
Let's go.
It would be
Amazon Prime.
amazing.
Come on. Somebody. I think it would. I don't know.
Amazing. Like limited.
It would be really fun.
Oh, it would be perfect. Like 13 episodes. It would be, it really, again, it lends itself. And it's definitely my favorite time loop. I think it brought something very new to the time loop. To me, it brought something new to bully romance. It brought something new to reverse harem. It brought something new to time loop, which again, I really am a fan of that device and that trope. I just.
Well, and I feel like the reverse harem part wasn't just like, it wasn't in your face. I mean, okay, it does get in your face, but like, it's too seen. Like, it's not like, because it is just like one guy and then the other guy and then the other guy, and like her figuring that all out. So like, it's not for somebody who's not really into it or doesn't really know it. This would be another one that's like a good starter if you're curious on what it is all about too.
Because it feels very organic. It's like there's not, it's not, you know, and it just it makes so much sense to the story. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say, because I'm really horrible right now about hair of the books. I would say this bonus scene is gonna be my hair of the book.
Okay.
And that could be yours too, Megan. It's okay, because I just told you, like, I'm like, the bonus scene, my hair of the book.
I think my hair of the book, which is like a truth, would be Burberry, because right after this, I was like, okay, I am deep in CM land. I need like to go back to my roots, to my OG original bully reverse harem romance, and I have like all the audibles. So whenever it would like the time called for an audible, I started redoing. I went from like book 3 to 4. I mean, not 3, 2 to 4. I decided to like skim book 1 with the audible of Burberry and just kind of get into the.
Yeah, I could see that. I think Burberry. All the mentions of Burberry in the book made me want to reread Burberry. I think it moved it up on my list of reread.
I was trying so hard to wait. I've been trying to wait for orientation. I've reread it before, but I was trying to this go around. I was trying to wait for orientation. I was like, the longer I push it, like the more I'll forget. I want to remember closer to orientation. Couldn't do it. I'm like, orientation has a pre-order. I couldn't wait the 5 months. Couldn't. Maybe I'll re-listen again before then. I actually forgot a lot of stuff. So yeah, a very good hair of the book would be Burberry Prep. And if you haven't read it before, it's OG. It's OG RH Bully. So good. I can't wait for orientation.
Okay.
I know.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the book, and we will see you next time in the Bookover. Bye.
We have another very exciting announcement that I want to have. I need it. I need it so much, and I need you to show everybody.
Oh, okay. Yes. So, as you may or may not know, we started a book box and a book bag, and first book box is available right now in our Etsy shop. And all the items are bookish related besides one.
Yes.
Because that was our goal, as we get tired of getting book boxes that don't have anything a lot.
Yes. And good swag. You don't just want, a book.
Yeah. So Megan wants one of these. I came up with this idea.
This is in Sarah's book box.
This is
I,
the book.
I'm yes, I'm doing the book bag. So right now we're talking about Sarah's book box.
Yes. Okay. So
Yeah.
basically when we read our books, a lot of times the authors say, you know, the guy that we're all crushing on smells like this or that, you know, and RH, the lead female is like, I know who's standing behind me because I can smell leather and cloves or whatever it is. So I was like, well, what if we could actually smell those things? So it's not a candle.
Not a candle.
It's not a candle. It is actually not. Okay, it's a roller bottle. I don't know if people know essential oils or not, but I'm kind of into them. And it's like this one is called Anti-Hero. So it's not a book boyfriend one yet. And this one is a earth and woodsy smell. So it's manly. And so it has like a little roller ball. You take, we'll do my pretty wrist, and you just do that, and you go, and you can smell. I love it. Bree from Mountie Girls, she actually purchased a box, and she loves it. And I was telling her that's like one of my favorite. I love all this stuff in it, but it's like my favorite one. And then the oils in this one are, it's very woodsy, but it's also meant to like center you and like bring you down to ground. So like if you're like stressful or you're just feeling like really like discombobulated, it will help like bring you back. So it's like a good like let me meditate or calm down or focus on my book. But this one, has anyone read From Blood and Ash?
It's on my list.
Okay, so this smell, I feel like Hawk would smell like this. Or Caleb from Credence would smell like this.
Ooh, Caleb.
Yeah.
Makes me want it even more. And he's he's kind of an anti-hero a little bit,
Yes.
Caleb. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he kind of is. And
right?
Yeah. So anyway, so that's my sneak peek of them. But I put more if the box goes well. I have ideas.
It's really good.
And
I am so excited for this roller. I need it. I want it. I just got into essential oils because I didn't even realize someone bought me like a hand cream that it like was essential oil based, and I was obsessed with it. And I'm like, why does this make me feel good? Why does it calm me? And I was like, oh, it's an essential oil one. So now I'm obsessed, and it makes me want this roller even more because I just wanted to look at it and like put it on my hand, just like anti-hero, anti-hero, anti. I don't something about bookish words in general calm me or make me happy to see something that says like, anti-hero or villain or book boyfriend. Just I don't know. It does something to my brain. So the idea that you're gonna add scent to that, like I need this. And it's so pretty. Look at the colors of the bottle. Like I am obsessed. I want it so much. Anti-hero. So that just like Sarah has the coolest stuff. I know it's in the book box. The coolest stuff. That like was the goal, to make a book box with good books, but like with good stuff you're gonna use and love. She has some really cool stuff, guys. Like amazing. I'm getting a box because I need it. And I'm doing the book bag, which is supposed to be, it's a slightly cheaper option because it's not coming in a box, coming in a bag, which is making the shipping a lot cheaper, which was my goal. But I've got very exciting news, and I'll post this more because this is kind of going to be buried in this live, but it is very limited. It's going to be, there's 10 boxes available, or 10 bags available, and Heather Long was nice enough to work with us, and we're going to have a special exclusive edition. You can only get it in this box. It'll only ever be made for this box of Savage Vandals with an exclusive cover. So I'm so excited. Thank you, Heather. There will be more on this. The box is going to ship, the bag, keep calling it the bag's going to ship out a little later because it depends on the printer. So that's why it took a minute to announce. But there will be more on it. There's really great swag in it too. Again, everything's a little smaller. The roller will not be in this. It is going to be, everything's going to be a little smaller, but it's still going to be like great swag. Trust me. Original designs, bookish, all bookish related. I'm very excited for it. I'm very confident you guys will like within it. And exclusive limited edition cover that you can only get this one time. And there's only going to be like how many copies in existence. So If you like vandals,
Yeah.
first of all, you need to love vandals. Um, highly recommend getting this. I'm so excited and I'm so grateful to Heather that she's willing to work with us and to work with us on such a small, exclusive amount. So,
Right.
it's on Etsy right now. And again, I'm going to put out more promotion with it saying that this box or this bag, just my bag, will have vandals in it. Sarah's has separate different books that are complete surprise in it. So there are two separate options. You can get the awesome big book box. You can get the smaller book bag, all with original swag.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
cool. I mean,
Say
you
that.
probably want both. I mean,
We
in my
want both.
opinion,
It's
you
totally
want both.
is if you is all supposed to be a surprise, but if
Mhm.
you're like, I need to know what's in it, I'll tell you what's in it. If you want to know what the books are, because you do have a lot of paperbacks, I'll tell you what the books are. Just ask.
Same. If you want to know what the swag items are for me, I will tell you what they are. And yeah. So basically, if you just message us, can't tell you what the cover is gonna look like because I don't know, and I'm so excited that I don't know. I'm so excited for whatever it's going to turn out to be.
I'm just
So
I'm like really honored that Heather is like doing that and yes, vandals, anyone who hasn't read it, you need to start reading it. And we're actually decided we're gonna follow the series.
mhm.
So you need to catch up so you can read along with us.
It is one of the most amazing, my favorite series. It's so good. It's so emotional and so just like everything. Um, so I'm so excited that Heather was willing to work with us and do an exclusive print of Vandals. And she's just like one of those authors that just supports everybody. Like if she can help you in whatever endeavor, she helps people. She uplifts other women. I was just telling my mom like what a cool, inspiring person Heather is actually. Like she just helps anyone she can, and I just think she's all about uplifting other people, and she's just
I
the
keep
best.
putting the roller on. Crazy person.
Oh, so very excited, and that will be shipped out contingent on when the printer and everything is done with it. So it's going to ship out. Basically, it'll be for sale as long as how it'll stay up on Etsy until it sells out, and then it'll ship out when it's done with the printer. And available in total copies, exclusive only for the Bookover bag. So if you want you gotta click fast. I'm not gonna lie, it's really like 8 because there might have already been me and Sarah getting it. So.
I might have one, so it might have gone down.
Yeah. Well, my mom.
Yeah, we gotta give the moms. Mom.
Hey, she's got good taste in books. What
Right.
what can you say? That's cool when your mom's got. Well, thank you everybody. We really hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you come join us for all of our fun stuff.
Oh.
So if you have any questions, message us. There'll be more information coming up about all these things, especially the book box and bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Bye, Bookover friends.